Hello, freshmen. Happy Wednesday. Hope you guys are doing super duper. Today is a very exciting day because we get to start on a new chapter here, chapter 18. So as usual, we're going to take a look at our vocabulary. This is on page 149. So please say these words along with me and practice them. It's always good to remember practice saying words out loud. So here we go. On 149. Flumen, fluminous, neuter, river. Genus, generis, neuter, origin. Hostis, hostis, masculine, enemy. Ludus, ludi, masculine, game. Probitas, probitatis, feminine, uprightness. Scientia, scientiae, feminine, knowledge. Clarus, clara, clarum, clear. Mortalis, mortale, mortal. Cur, why. Deinde, thereupon. Fluo, fluere, fluxi, fluxum, to flow. Lego, legere, legi, lectum, to pick out. Misceo, miscera, miscui, mixtum, to mix. Moeo, moera, moi, motum, to move. And then our last one, videor, videri, visum, to be seen. All right. Notice that last one. It is it's a form of video. It's the passive of video, which we're going to look at this chapter, learn about the passive. And it can mean to be seen. It can also mean seem. And that's a very common definition of it that you see there. Okay. So it is good to learn those first definitions they give you, but knowing the rest of them as well, that's always helpful. Just kind of gives you a broader range of understanding if you see a word in a translation. Okay, so be studying those vocab words, and I'll let you know in a little bit when we'll have our quiz. Obviously, sometime next week. But so yeah, be working on those. And next, we're going to move into the passive voice.
All right, so we're going to talk about voice right now. So up to this point, we've only dealt with the active voice, okay? And with the active, your subject is going to be what does the action in a sentence, okay? Now, there is another voice in Latin as in English, and that is the passive voice, okay? And Latin is going to use the passive voice much, probably more commonly than English does, okay? So the passive voice, the subject, rather than doing the action, is going to be receiving the action, okay? So with the active voice, you have kind of your own set of endings. So you've got the OST, MUST, ISNT, I, you, he, we, y'all, they. This is how we learn Latin verbs today, hooray! Okay? So that's your active voice. Passive has its own special endings, okay? So instead of the OST, what you're going to have are these endings ris, ter, mer, mini, and unter, okay? Kind of fun endings. And there is actually a very fun song that you know already that we're going to put these to, and that is the following. Ris termer mini unter, ris termer mini unter, ris termer mini unter, and that's passive voice. All right, so that's your passive song to help you learn the passive endings. Okay, now just like with active voice, what we're going to do is we're going to put those endings on the stem of a verb to conjugate the verb. Okay, so the verb I have given you here, and this is going to, this chapter focuses on first and second conjugation verbs. So the first verb I give you here is a first conjugation verb, servo, servare. Okay, so the stem there is going to be serva. Okay, And then you're going to put your endings onto that stem. Now, you'll notice the very first one, of course, has to be different. So the very first form, you'll notice ser war, it puts the ending onto the first principal part. Okay, so it goes to ser war. All the rest of them, though, you'll notice you have that stem, serwa, and then the ris, ter, mer, mini, inter. Okay, so that would be how you conjugate a verb in the present passive indicative. All right, and then when you translate it, instead of saying I save, all right, because that would be I'm doing the action, the passive would be I am saved. Okay, so I am not doing anything, I am receiving the saving. All right, so I am saved, you are saved, he is saved, we are saved, y'all are saved, and they are saved. Okay? And then second conjugation is going to work exactly the same way. So the only thing with second conjugation is it's going to have a bunch of E's rather than A's. Okay? So second conjugation, you put the first principal part, we put the R on the end of the first principal part. And then after that, you take the stem debe, in this instance, and you add ris, ter, mer, mini, inter. Okay, so that is how you do present passive indicative. All right, now imperfect is going to be like unto it. So with the imperfect, it's going to be actually exactly the same as the imperfect active, except instead of your MST, MUS, TIS, and T, you're just going to substitute the endings. Okay, so for this one, what we did, we took the stem, serwa, then we add the ba, because imperfect sheep say ba, and then we add our endings, ris, ter, mer, mini, inter. Okay, and that is how you do imperfect. Second conjugation would be exactly the same, so if we had debeo, we'd have debe bar, debe baris, debe bater, so on and so forth. Okay, and the translation here would be I was saved, you were saved, he, she, it was saved, we were saved, y'all were saved, and they were saved. Okay, so that's how you do imperfect. All right, and then lastly for today, the future passive, okay? So future passive, this is going to be similar to what we've done with the active, but slightly different, okay? So with the active, we had bo, bis, bit, bimus, bitis, bunt, okay? This one, once again, you'll take your stem, serwa, and then you add bo, but then you'll add r for passive, okay? Now this second person, look at this second person. This one's a little different, all right? So second person active, you have serwa bis, okay? Notice how we have this E in here. So it's serwa beris, all right? And then it goes back to what you normally expect, serwa bitter, serwa bimmer, serwa bimini, and bunter, okay? So your endings and stem, or your endings and tense sign, bor, beris, bitter, bimmer, bimini, bunter, okay? And that's your future, all right? One way also to notice the tense sign here, if you look right before the endings, you get bo, be, by, boo, or as one of my students said, bo, be, triple by, boo, okay? And then your translation would be I will be saved, all right? So that is the passive voice, okay? So make sure you review those and make sure you're confident on those, and we will come back to this tomorrow. So love you guys and hope you guys have a great day.